Yes, of course, there's a problem of induction, like how we can solve it epistemologically. I do study philosophy of science, and there's a problem there. And I realized the problems, like how it developed over the years, 2,500 years ago until now, that you can't really solve it. Like in Islam, we do believe, of course, I creed, and the creed side, I'm an atheist, of course. So I do believe, for example, that sensory information is as what we call badahi, uh, intuitive, I guess. It's like you must believe in it, necessary knowledge,
Sure.
right? As well as the rational side or the reason side. So how can we solve this problem? Like if I have a problem of induction, how can we solve it with the Islamic epistemology? With the problems now of underdetermination, the problem of underdetermination and all of that. If you can help with that, I would be glad.
Are you talking about within the context of science or outside of science?
In the context of science, of course. I guess it's more like, for example, if I do a study, like I want to generalize over a few rules, like there is a degree of knowledge, though, right? And Islamically, we always say that we use it to answer like evolution and quantum physics and stuff. But like there should be some knowledge that we do know, right? Because
No,
it seems like, yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, we're not solipsists, right? We don't hold this position that we can't really know about the reality of the world, and we can't. For example, we wouldn't deny that they are axiomatic beliefs that we hold that are what Plantinga would call basic beliefs. So I think there's wider questions here, which I'm not equipped to answer, but they're just things for us to consider. Does Islamic epistemology fit better with coherentism or foundationalism? And as Muslims, what is the role of the fitri knowledge, the self-evident truths that we believe in, all of these things. But I think I just want to redirect your question to what is, I believe, the crux of the matter. Do we consider science as knowledge? Yes, we do. But what do we consider it as? We would say it's ilm al-dhann. It's the knowledge of speculation. It's not certain knowledge, right? But that doesn't mean we would discard it. It doesn't mean that in order for us to consider science in our epistemology, we have to solve the problem of induction, or we have to solve the problem of underdetermination or theory ladenness, or the problem of unconceived alternatives, or how methodological naturalism can constrict the answers you come up with. None of that. All it is that we would accept it as a way of trying to acquire knowledge about the world, but we would always be aware of those limitations, right? But we wouldn't need to solve these things per se, because these things are, like you mentioned, unsolvable. But what's your thoughts on this?
I think the Quran has some interesting things to say about itself, in the sense that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions yaqeen, he mentions it in three different formats. One of them is ilmul yaqeen, which is the knowledge of certainty, knowledge of yaqeen. The other one is haqqul yaqeen, or the truth of certainty. And the other one is aynul yaqeen, which is the eye of certainty. And it's in this third category where I think it's definitely conceivable within Islam that based on what you perceive, that you can acquire certainty. And La tarawunnaha ayn al-yaqeen is there in the Quran, like about hellfire. You're not gonna, when you're being burnt by hell, or not you and me, inshallah, but people that are being burnt by hellfire, and كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم جلودا غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب. When every time their skin is being burnt and peeled off, they will give them a new skin for them to taste the punishment. They're not going to say, well, this is theory ladenness and this is underdetermination, because the experience is going to be so severe and the vision is going to be so solid. فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيد. Literally, this is what it says in the Quran. Your vision that day will be iron, literally, to the Prophet. This is again a basar. And the basar in the Quran is also the basar of the qalb, not just the basar of the eyes, literally of the eyes. So you can get certainty from sensory experiences. We shouldn't have one size fits all policy when it comes to sensory experience. Our point is not that, evolution is wrong because of underdetermination or because of theory laziness, or that's not even what we're saying. We're saying that the argument that supporter usually makes is that more than one theory can fit the data, and in fact you can look at this in more than one different way. It's not the same as an observation and or a sensory experience which is direct. So the Quran is referring to the latter. It's not referring to something which you can interpret in 3 or 4 different ways. Richard Dawkins himself, which when his conversation with Hamza Sources, funny enough, when he put himself in this analogy. He said, if you think about evolution is like CSI investigation or like a crime investigation.
Clues
let's use exactly that analogy. He says that you look at clues and whatever, and you come to a conclusion of who the murderer is. That's how he basically phrased it in his discussion with Hamza Sources. Now, if that's how it is, then you can conceivably come to the wrong conclusion, or you can come to a partially wrong conclusion, or you can have the story wrong based on the evidences. So what we're saying is that evolution, parts of it might be true, or the Darwinian model, parts of it might be true, but we can't say that all of it is true, because we are left to infer. We are left to infer with the fossil record. We are left to infer with microbiology. We are left to infer with whatever it is that they use to make the inference. And because we are left to infer rather than directly experience it on our skin and in front of our faces, we say that the epistemological level there is less. So yes, sensory data can lead to certainty according to the Quran, definitely. عين اليقين is clear. بصرك اليوم حديد is clear. But at the same time, our visions are impaired in this dunya. We encapsulate very little with our aql as well, because we do a lot of interpretive work. And it's through that interpretive work that we can actually make the wrong conclusion. So I think therein lies the difference between where all these things apply and where they don't. Does that help?
Yes, indeed. It was you organized it a bit well. My brain wasn't organized well. So thank you very much, Jazakumullah khair.
Brother.